guys. Welcome to the TWC. I am fired up. Check it out. End of the year. What are you thinking? What am I thinking? What are we going to do next year? Oh, dude. I got 3 quick things for you. This is big. This is real big. This is for 2016. I can't wait. Now, I got an activity call coming up on Friday, which will be New Year's Day. All right, New Year's Day, I'm going to do an activity. And I can't wait. Let me give you a glimpse. Let me give you an idea what we're going to talk about on Friday. But here we go. And this is for today. All right, listen to me. My question is this right here. What's the main thing? We're going to keep the main thing next year. My question is, what's the main thing? Well, on an activity, on building your business, I'm going to get into that on Friday. When it comes to your life, your family, your relationships, what's the main thing? And how do you keep the main things the main things? How do you do that? What's your plan? Tell me your plan. I want to hear it. And I'm going to tell you some of my plan. And I'm going to let you hear some of the big producers' plans and the big organizations' plans and the people that's been married and has friends, their plans. Okay, all right, simple enough. Main thing. Keep it simple. KISS. All right, next. This one's crazy talk. Listen to this one. What do you want? What do you want? Tell me what you want. Why you say that, Andy? Because let me tell you something. People are going to do what they want to do no matter what. I can't sway them. I can't make them. I can't mystify them and give them this dream or this idea, something to pursue. Tell me what you want. Why you say that, Andy? Because I want to know what you want. Why? Because you're going to do what you want, and then I'll help you. Wait a minute. You say, Andy, you going to help me get what I want? Right. Because I can't help you get something you don't want. I can't help you get something you don't desire. I want to know what you want, what you're thinking, what you believe in, what makes you sing, what makes you dance, what makes you cry, what gets you blood, what gives you toe chills. What do you get fired up about? What do you want to accomplish? Tell me what you want so I can tell you how to get it, so I can help you, so I can look over there, so I can read a book, listen to audio, so I can listen to you talk and think. How do I help them get their goals, get their dreams? How do I help them get what they want? If it's happiness, how do I help them get it? That's the game plan. Tell me, email me, text me, tell me. I want to hear it. I'll make time. That's my dream. Okay, we're not talking about me. I'm talking about you. I was going to tell you, that's what I love, is helping people. That's just what I get up thinking about. I love it. I forget every problem I got when I'm trying to help somebody. Oh, we're not going to talk about me. You tell me what you want. What do you want to accomplish? All right, look here. What's important to you? Listen to me. This is critical. It's not the same thing as this. This is a different thought. What's important to you? Well, you know what most people think about? The bad situation they got, the problem they got, and they think about it again and again. And they review it. And they look at it from 8 different angles. And they look down on it, and they look up underneath it, and they discuss it with their friends. No. What I'm talking about is, what do you want? What's the desire? What are we going for? How do we stay away from the situation? How do we put the situation over here, and how do we think about this? What's important to you? What's going to matter 5 years from now? What's going to matter 15 years from now? What's going to matter for eternity? What's going to matter when you look back? That's what I want to talk about. Tell me what's important to you. I'm fired up. I got a great show coming to you. Some of the funnest stuff I've talked about this year. Please review it. Please take some notes. Ask me questions and think about these 3 questions. What's the main thing? How are we going to keep the main thing the main thing? What do you want? What do you want so I can help you? How are you going to tell me? How are you going to express it? And then what's important to you? All right, guys, I love you. Enjoy this. I'll be talking to you live Friday. I can't wait. It's going to be crazy. Big year, big life. You're getting ready to make it happen. And I get to join you in this experience. Love you. Check it out. Okay, watch this. We call it the hot poker principle. Okay? You ever heard of hot poker principle? Okay, y'all know what a poker is in the fire? You stick it in. You know how to get it hot? Put it near the hot stuff. Hello? Does that make sense? Okay, take a hot poker and let it stand back at the back and watch. How hot's the poker going to get? Ice cold. See, it's not complicated, but people come up with their theories. They're like, I've heard it before. I've heard it before. I know this. I'm one of the people who like it to stand at the back. I observed those people, and I knew that as people, sometimes they get hot poker principle, then they get medium poker principle, then they get cold, then they get gone. I noticed that not everybody won. And I started figuring out who was winning. And it was the ones that were 100% positive. Y'all hear what I'm saying? Like, so when you come, Marty, that's what you're doing. You're going like, Take notes. Observe what people do. Now, Jeff Bright and I are going to do an assessment on everybody, and we're going to put you in these categories. You're going to put yourself in a category, or basically, you're going to show us who you are. It's a fast test, but we'll be able to put people in the power category, the affiliation category, and there's 2 other categories. And see, what you got to understand is everybody has their own categories. And so you're going to see some people love the goads talking. Some people like what Paul Roberts is saying. Some people going to fall in love with Chris Long. And what I figured out, I had certain tendencies that I leaned to because I was in a category 2. I found out that I needed to embrace the whole package. Does that make sense? Because there will be different segments that you will be attracted to, and the other ones you won't understand why. I might repeat this again later, but let me tell you something. You don't have to understand everything to know it's real. Let me get this one. This one I went over before. This one's hard to understand. How does a brown cow eat green grass and make white milk? That make no sense, does it? How about this? Spin it around and make yellow butter. Crazy. It's crazy. But it works. Hey, well, Andy, what do you know about that? I know I like brownies and milk. I like chocolate brownies and milk. Does that make any sense? So what do I got to argue with? I like brownies and milk. Brown cow make white milk, make yellow butter. I like butter on biscuits. How about that? So it don't matter if you logically, you have to fight through this, Matt, and figure out, okay, let me get this straight. The guys that embrace the whole package are winning the whole game. Like basketball players, professional basketball players that play defense and offense, and listen to this, they sing the company song. People go like, I'm not going to sing the company song. So let me get this straight. You're going to join the Yankees and talk about, I'm a Southerner and like tea. I'll play ball for them, but I ain't doing all that. No. Nuh-uh. You better be a Yankee. You're going to play with the New York Yankees. Does that make any sense? Hello? Hello? So these are the things I look for. Look for it. Find out who's growing. But I find out who's growing, and you will see that it's these people that are doing across the board. You don't have to understand it, but put two and two together. Okay, so it's an educational experience. Tomorrow begins the Forester's deal. Here's another thing. Come early, stay late. Have you ever heard that? Y'all are all early. So the Forester's deal starts tomorrow. I think, what time is it? 2:30? Anybody know? 2 o'clock. 2:30, Forester starts. There will be people packing stuff for this emergency kit. And there's other people there that are associating
while they packing. It's kind of like what Barnum and Bailey said. He said, I'd rather entertain and hope somebody learns something than educate and hope they were entertained. Y'all know why? You know why Barnum said that? Why did he say that? People will come back again for the show if they're entertained. So if they're educated and not entertained, ain't coming back. Educated and entertained, they'll come back. So if you entertain and educate, guaranteed to come back. Barnum figured out that money thing. Hello? That's why hotspots, make them fun, bring the energy, you're part of the show. So you are going to be joining the show, but what are you going to do? Figure out what you want to accomplish. You want to meet some people while you're helping out people. And some people, they listen to, a lot of my stuff is alignment. If you've ever counseled me or chatted with me and you start talking, we're 5 minutes into it and I go, time out. Have we covered the most important thing first? And they go, no, I'm going to end with that. I go, no. Big rocks first. Last thing I want to do is donate $10,000 to John Maxwell's favorite cause so I can get an hour with him. And then the hour closes down and all we've talked about is my bottom 12 items. We're going to start with what I'm going to get out of this talk first. So you come to this Forester's thing thinking, what's the plan? What am I getting from it? Now, okay. Now, here's funny because people say, you say bring stuff to the program. Bring stuff to the program is true. Now, what you going to get out of it? You bring into the hot spots, what you going to get out of them? You don't come just to get, you bring something. What do you get with Forester's? When you come in here, I need a well, I need a amen. I need a good to see ya. I need buddies wagging. You with me?
That's right.
Bring it. Yep. Bring it. Know what you're trying to accomplish. We are going to have a meal. You'll get to hang out with different people. Plan on who you're going to eat with. Make it happen. There's an agency manager meeting. Agency managers above will be here. Everyone is invited to hang out on the outside of the rope. You'll hear what we're talking about. And there's going to be some big messages delivered. So, and the convention ain't even started yet. And then who are you going to hang out with tomorrow night after dinner? After the agency manager. What are you going to do? What are you going to do? Not what do you feel like. Remember, you're going to get paid for on what you do. People are going to see what you do. They're not going to see you tired. They see that you show up. And then Friday morning, men's leadership, well, the attitude is going to be on. The attitude is coming. Front row seats. We've got, here's what I'll let you know, heads up, what I'm going to do is, the guys that are showing the plan, that are traveling the most, I really want to take time talking to them about leadership and talking to everybody about leadership and what it is and what it is not. Tim Goad has a delivery that he wants. He's been like, Andy, I got to tell him, this will change their world. This is right here. This is going to set you on fire. I was like, Tim, I believe you. So he is going to lay that out. And then I'm going to wrap up with some things to get the convention started. Then we're going to have the Friday afternoon kickoff, and then of course the big kickoff will be Friday night. And you know, I can't wait to see who's here. I got friends coming. I'm going to be grabbing people and shaking hands and trying to meet everybody can. And I'm going to love it when people go like, you remember I met you? And I go, absolutely, I did. I can't remember what city I was in. I've been so flying around. But it's going to be fun to get back with everybody. How about this? I noticed this. Whenever I went to a meeting, if there were people that were not in line, it distracted me. So I had to make myself stay focused. But when I went to meetings and everybody was together, it increased my intensity and my desire to work there. Here's a question people have. This is deep. This is what I want to ask you before I tell them.
Go ahead.
People said, I have a call to help people. I have a call to ministry. I have a call. I feel like there's something bigger out there. How do you incorporate or how do you deal with that and this? That's what people say. Okay? You with me so far? Am I telling this?
Go ahead.
You know where I'm headed?
I know where you're headed.
You think you do?
You know what? Please tell me where you're headed. I'm headed
here.
there. There you go.
You know what that says on there?
It says it's pi, right?
It's pi, okay? The way I deal with it is this.
And do you want me to...
Go ahead. Go ahead.
Prosperity, inspiration, eternity.
Yeah. That's how I deal with it. People say, I don't understand. I'm trying to explain it to you, Lucy. You, Lucy. I'm trying to explain it to you. That's how I deal with that ministry. That's how I deal with bringing people in. It's prosperity. See, who wants to follow anybody anywhere that's poor and pitiful and ain't got nothing? Exactly. Who's inspired if all you do is make the money and pile it up? And then who cares more about bringing people into the program? Eternity. That's who. Who we're going to be with, where we're going to be for eternity. See, we forever will look back at what we were doing now. And let me tell you something. It's just like if you was in high school and you look back and you have fond memories, you're going to be lifted up. If you're in college, you had fond memories, lifted up. It's called a better seat. It's called a higher program. It's called being rewarded for what you do. But it's really what you did. So if you inspired other people, helped other people, I bring people in to the program. That's what I do. That's how I deal with. In other words, the alliance is what I do. That is how I do that job. What job, Andy? Bringing them in. That's what I do. I guarantee you more people this week are closer to where they need to be in life and where they need to be when eternity starts. Do you understand what I'm saying? That's why. And then Tim Goad grabs them. And John Maxwell grabs them. And Brian Biggers grabs them. You with me? I bring them in. I'm going to go get them. I'm going to go tell them. Remember when I said this? Right. Are you a go show them? Or are you a come and see? You was a come and see. Now your job is go tell them.
Exactly. Yes, sir.
That is how I deal with that question. Pi. Some people haven't heard pi. They've heard duplicate, associate, and edify. That's how we build it. Why we build it, why we're out there, why I lay it on the line, why I work 24/7, it's for pi. Because I want somebody else to have a piece of the pie besides me.
Amen.
And there's more pie. There's plenty of pie here for people to get. I want to tell y'all an hour and a half of stuff to do with hunting. And my time is running out.
Uh-oh.
I want to explain this one to you. This one right here is what I just got yesterday, I think, or the day before Monday, for dove hunting. Here's the way this thing works. Look at here. Somebody goes, wait a minute, that's what they say right here. They go like this right here. If I hear this right here, they wouldn't let me bring a shotgun on here. I wanted to bring my shotgun. They wouldn't let me on stage this weekend either. All my advisors, everybody says, he does what he wants to. He's just got yes man around him. They said, you cannot bring a shotgun on stage. I was like, all right. They said, people be hitting the ground. I said, when I start shooting, I know they will. But see, this is the dove sound. See, what you got to do is you got to be ready. You see what I'm saying? Y'all see this thing works? So I got my shotgun right here. Right here. I'm not dressed up. Well, I'm more like, you don't want them to see you coming, right?
Maybe they're sharp-dressed doves. Maybe they're sharp-dressed doves.
Yeah, sharp-dressed up. Well, see what happens. See, people say, what does this have to do with the business? Well, when I walk up to people, I'm not like this. How are you doing? And nice to meet you, Christian. You know what I mean? Like that right there. I'm more like, what's up, Bo? That's the way I am with a dove. I'm just like, what's up, Bo? You with me? I'm up in here like this right here. Like that right there. And then I hear him go. I just wheel around like that right there. And I was like, bird, bird, bird. See, that's what we do. That's what instant thunder is. You hear them coming. Like the way you walk and the way you talk. Well, that doves make that sound. That's what they sound like. But you sound different. And you got to know what a winner looks like. See, we in the hunt, remember? We're in the hunt for people like this. I played baseball. I didn't. Hey, you think I want to sell insurance? Seriously. Raise that mic up there and just give it one guess. You think that's what I want to do the rest of my life?
No.
Can you guess what I want to do the rest of my life when I was thinking about what I want to do the rest of my life? Just guess some of the things you think I want to do.
Hunt?
Hunt. But I don't want to hunt when it's real cold. What else you think I might want to do?
Anything else?
Concerts.
Concerts.
Baseball. Wiffle ball. Fishing. Travel. Go to Africa. See what? Kill a lion. Shoot a hog right in the head. Kill an alligator. Shoot some pool. Play some ping pong. Is any of this stuff what you'd like to do?
Yes.
That's what I want to do. This is the closest thing to not doing nothing and making paid that I have found on earth. I'm just going to tell you this.
Yeah.
I ain't found nothing that you can hardly do nothing, anything. I mean, the other day, I'm not kidding you, Monday after convention, I told my son, I said, I'm going to Cabela's. Can I borrow your truck? Because I got a stupid old, what is that thing I got, Range Rover? Huh? Range Rover. Everybody thinks they're great. That thing ain't worth nothing when it comes to hauling stuff. You know what I mean? I'm going to buy, when I go to buy a shop, you can't take no Range Rover. You need a truck. You need a pick-em-up truck. And because ain't no telling what I'll buy. It's just crazy. And so I told him, I said, we're going. I'm going. I'm going to take your truck. He said, I'm going too. And you should have seen us. We grabbed 2 carts each and just started pushing them. And people was like, I'll take this. I was like, they're mine. And I'm not kidding you. We got Yeti coolers. I got 3 or 4 pair of boots, sandals. I got all this stuff, chairs. I got 8 different kinds. We're going fishing in Costa Rica. I didn't know. My friend told me, he said, you need fishing gloves because when you try to bring in a marlin, he said, your hands will get tired. And he said, you need to get these gloves like this right here. Well, guess what? I got 5 different kinds because every one of them had angler and if it had fishing on it, I got them. I was just throwing it at Spencer's like, what are you doing? I was like, well, our friends are going to be there too. Better get them some. I got some, you ought to see them. It's crazy neon stuff. I don't know which ones. I just got buying them all. People say, well, do you want, you see what I'm saying? That's what we do. This is what we do. There's this much time. Now, in the beginning, you got to kill it to get free. But when you get free, the whole world changes. And you have all kinds of time to do what you want to do. And you get to play. Diane Lampy was shooting some guy named Trevino that plays golf. You ever heard of that guy? Yeah. Lee? Yeah. She said Bill Lampy's talking to Lee Trevino right now about his son because had given him some golf lessons. I was like, one-on-one, he's talking to Lee Trevino. Yeah. And you get to do crazy stuff like athletes you hang out with. And I mean, think about this. People want autographs of people. We had NFL football players all in the audience out there. We had Olympic athletes out there.
Crazy.
It is.
It is.
It is. And this is making sense what I'm telling you. It's like we do this much. And can you imagine going to work 45, 50 hours a week, kissing up like crazy, and then paying you $100,000 a year, not a month, a year. And then you decide to get on vacation, they go like, you got to work this week. And you got to sit there and you got to do it. And you need to do it with a smile on your face, you know? I don't understand how, I still ain't found nothing I want to work. He said, well, what you do, Andy, is work. I go, really? I thought what I do is ministry. I thought what I do is fun. I thought what I do is meet people from all over the world. I thought what I do is travel the world with my friends and help other people.
So here's what I was telling people. You think about this. Think about these people y'all hire. You ask them, I was talking to this new guy. We just got started. And he's got 4 or 5 kids. Okay? He's got a wife. And he really needs this business. Okay? If I said, I'm going to pay you $42,000, but you got to leave your family on Tuesday because you're in the National Guard, you know what the family would say? Well, that's what he's got to do. That's what he's got to do, right? Because he's got to do it. Because he does. Now, if he goes down there and he decides to quit doing it and he comes back home, you know what they're going to do? They're going to arrest him.
That's what they're going to do.
No kidding. Yeah. A friend of a friend, one of my friends, his best friend, so that's how I know him. I hate them stories, but this is the truth. A friend of a friend, he did that in the Marines. You know what they did? Knock, knock, knock. You get ready to spend some time alone with your thoughts. Called solitary. For like a certain amount of time, then they put him back in and said, go with it. Now see, here's the thing. But all the family understand. They understand when Scott's doing that, right? Mm-hmm. But now watch this. He comes back. She decides to be gone for 2 weeks, go out to California, Dallas. Listen, this is what I'm telling you. Think about it. It's okay when it's military, but she's at her own business, and she's going to be gone for 2 weeks. You know what the family going to say? I think you're going to miss one of her ball games. You're going to miss when she loses a tooth or gets a tooth. And you know she got her hair fixed this week, and you wasn't there to see it. Here they go. Bad mama. Bad mama. Now, you join the military, and they say you're going to be gone for 2 years, but we're going to pay for your free college education. They say, you know, she's doing what she needs to do. What is it? What is it with that? What is it with that? Or a job says you're going to go overseas. Now, y'all got to go overseas for the next 6 months. We're going to pay you $50,000 each and not going to get taxed because it's overseas. And their family say they had to do what they had to do. What if the uncle dies? Do they have to come back from China? No. They ain't got to come back. You know why? Because they had to do what they had to do. See, when people figure out that I think what we do is more important than any of that other stuff, how about at least as important is that stuff? Then I don't listen when somebody tell me, when some fool neighbor, aunt, uncle, cousin, anybody else tells me what I'm going to do, when I'm sitting here trying to do something, change people's lives, make a difference, change young people, give to North Carolina State, give to the Gold Ministry, give to J.L. Williams Ministry. Them people need money. I got to make the money. That's what I do. America needs to be protected. You got to go overseas and fight. Does that make sense? People say, why do you think your business? Because this is my game. That's like saying, why do you think your team is a team to pull for? Because it's my team. So if you're part of the alliance, is this making sense?
Yeah.
I am energized about it. I'm not mad about it. But I am emotional about it. Y'all hear what I'm telling you? But ain't it the truth? You've seen that, hadn't you?
Absolutely.
We won't tell anybody who it is because they might one day see it, a relative or something. Did they ever put you down because you missed something with the family?
I have had in-law lectures about not being home enough to cook dinner.
Him about not being here with us? Or
No.
anything? No. That's different, ain't it?
Sure is.
Because he's making millions of dollars doing that, right?
Right. No.
You follow what I'm saying? I hate sarcasm, so I'm not going to use sarcasm. But understand is, it don't pay much, but they understand.
Right. He can say, I do it for America.
He can say, I do it for America.
Yeah, and I say, I do it for our family.
You know why I do this?
For America.
That's right. You know who pays for them military fools? That's right. I pay for them military people.
Right.
My taxes. I pay for the tanks. I pay for the machine guns. I pay for the bullets. I pay for the armor. I pay for the helmets. I pay for the goggles. And this month, I think I bought 2 tanks based on the tax I paid. I'm not kidding you. They don't make money. They shoot the guns that the rich people pay the taxes on. The rich people pay the taxes. And you need to get rich, pay the taxes so he can get some more bullets. We want him to go over there overseas shooting blanks. I do this for America. And I don't want people coming over here taking over our country. We got to have a GNP. See, I know stuff. Gross national product. See, we got to have volume money flowing. Without somebody doing business like they mean it, our military can't do business like they mean it.
That's right. There you go.
Does that make sense? Somebody got to pay the taxes. So he pays taxes too. What is he paying taxes on? The taxes are paying him. He ain't paying taxes on paying taxes. That ain't right. Does that make sense? The government can't pay taxes. A government employee can't pay taxes. All they can do is put money back in the program. Because they're getting paid from taxes. Because they're not doing anything. Does that make sense? It's a mathematical problem right there. It don't make no sense to me. I don't care. And that's why, listen, what don't make no sense to me, see, somebody else thinks like they think, I think like I think. I'm trying to get people to think more like I think, so more people get to go to Africa. More people get to go to China. More people go fishing with their kid. Does that make sense? Last night I was watching an old movie with my son. You know why? Because I got enough money that I can afford to sit there with my son. Now, some people, poor, broke, can't pay their taxes, can't pay the kids' college education watching a movie. Kids going in debt and they're at home watching a movie. What the heck is wrong with them parents? I would never sit at home watch a movie with my kid if I made him go in debt to go to college. My daughter, she's debt-free when she comes out of college and got at least 1 truck, might have 2 trucks if I decide to get her another. Does that make sense? You understand what I'm saying? Because I got the money, I can sit at home and watch my son. And then I can take him to Costa Rica fishing next month. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
But if I thought like they thought, I would be in the condition they're in. Okay? All right. Tell them who you are. Just introduce yourself and tell them what grade you're in, stuff like that. Or what grade you're going to be in.
I'm Ava, and I'm 14, and I'm going to be in 9th grade.
That's a good job. You got them all right. Grab a seat. Y'all grab a seat. Thank you. Thank you very much. Grab a seat. Thank you. Okay. All right. Okay, here we go. People say this to me a lot, Paul. See, you're so patient with new people. And I always go, here's what I know. Why I do it. When you talk about when I'm dealing with other people. So when I'm dealing with other people, watch this. I have patience. Watch this. Billy, from now on, let's have that marked up and that marked up. Does that make sense? That's my patience. I'm nice, you know. But on the other hand, I know tomorrow we got to get better. Does that make sense? So I'm dealing with a person, I really don't care at all where they are. In other words, if this is you and you're hiring a person, it's patience and love that's going to get them to make money, not demanding. But now let me tell you this. When I see a person and I look at them and I go, I think, after talking to a few minutes, that this person has a good heart. I think that they need to be up here, income-wise and happiness-wise. I hate seeing them down here, income-wise and happiness-wise. Does that make sense? It bothers me. So I've got very positive stress right here. But I don't want them to see it as I'm demanding that they move up so I can make money. Does that make a little bit of sense? So when I'm talking to a person, I'll let them talk and I listen to them, and I'm not mad because I have patience and I have love. Because I know that's what's going to get me the prize. Does that make sense? Okay, here's what I know. Everybody's different. And the way, listen, let me tell you something. The person that's putting you down and making fun of you, they don't think, I'm going to be a mean person and tell her the wrong stuff. Yeah. They're saying, I know what she really needs and I'm going to correct her. I know best for her. They're not thinking they're mean or negative. They're thinking that they're doing the right thing. So whenever you're talking to a person, you got to understand that they think. So when you think I'm patient with them, is it Travis? When you think I'm patient with you, I just understand that you think like you think. I got to understand that they think like they think. I can't get mad. There's a book called The 5 Love Languages, and it's people think, one person thinks love, like for me, and Jane knows this, I'm big on touch. So like if she comes, hugs me and kisses me, I know it's love, right? But now if I go love on her with a hug and a kiss, she's like, you just want to hug and kiss. But when she tries to hug and kiss on me, I don't think, all she wants to do is hug and kiss. I go like, she must love me. Does that make sense? Now, on the other hand, when she fixes me breakfast, she'll do it all the time. Or when she cooks for me, or when she runs to get me errands, she thinks, man, he thinks I love him because I'm doing these little things. And she's doing those little things, I'm just like, that's just what a wife does. It's just a different language. But if I would take the trash out, or yesterday she asked me to take some toilet paper over to this different house we got, and I didn't do it. So when I didn't do it, she says, he don't love me. Because if I do the little thing, in other words, her love is tasks and little things. My love is touch and then words of affirmation. You can tell her she's great. She don't care. Now, do you know what yours are? Do you know what yours are? Do you know what yours are? Okay, so through this love language, so people speak different languages of love. So when I'm talking to a person, I'm listening and trying to figure out what's their language of love. I'm just listening, see what they think. I want to find out how, if they care about their parents, if they care about money, what the situation is. I also don't have an ego like I know everything with them. I'm more trying to understand. Watch that. Here's what I want to show you. If this is me right here, I don't like that. Let me do it like this. If this is me over here, this is me and this is them, okay? Or if this is you and this is them. I like that better. If this is you and this is them. I understand you think you might know more than them, you think you're right. Or you think you're thinking, or you think your age, you think your looks. Here's what I know. There's a place in between right here, and this is where the money is. It's not where you're different. A lot of people want to tell me something. They want to make a correction. They can't stand it. Listen to me. A couple of you ain't listening. They got to make a correction because they think that's awesome. Does that make sense? It doesn't. What you need to figure out is where we overlap. I think the same way. I see where you're coming from. You're exactly right. That is exactly right. See, when you agree, it's more fun. To disagree, mess stuff up. Does that make sense? So, and you say, well, you're faking. No, I'm not faking nothing. You got to get people to understand where you are and before you can get them to go anywhere. In other words, if I got to grab your hand and you won't grab my hand, I can't take you anywhere. But if I will be nice enough that I put my hand out and you grab my hand, now I can take you. It's called rapport. It's developing rapport. Okay? This is simple stuff. Listen, let me tell you something. I had a lady, I call her the storm. Her name is Katrina. Because when Katrina came through North Carolina, it just wiped out everything. So I just call her the storm when I see her. Only met her one time. But she went to one of our hot spots, and she said everybody there was in the middle. Everybody was looking for why I was not. I was like, gosh, every one of our hot spots are starting to get this way. They're starting to appreciate people and how they come in. They're not going like, you're black, you're white, you're old, you're young, you're a different country, you're a southern country, you're a northern country, you're a communist country. They're going, hey, come on in the house. We're all friends here. And these people that are not on her team have already set up to take her out and show her how to train. She was like, it's crazy. I said, it's like a miracle. She said, it is like a miracle that you walk into something like that in America today. And she's several hours from here. I can't train her, but she's right there in person. I can train her on the phone. And I was talking to her this morning. I was like, that's what I'm talking about. See, it's when more and more people look at the similarities and stop with the judgment. Okay? Okay, you got to figure out what you got to do, and then you got to figure out what you don't have to do. You with me? This is how you do the do. The way you do is you figure out what you don't have to do, and you make excuses for the stuff you don't have to do. Does that make sense? Like, and I was talking to one of, I don't want to say the girl's name, young girl, 14 years old, one of the kids and one of the parents, one of the greatest parents we have, and she said, Andy, some of the people that want me to hang around are trying to make me feel guilty for not hanging around, but they're not the right kind of people. I know it, my mom and dad knows it, but they're my friends. And I'm like, welcome to life, buddy. You got to say no to the wrong stuff. You got to say yes to what you got to do, but you got to learn to say no to the wrong people. People that are pulling you down. People, like, I have had people come through my life, and I get to liking them, knowing them. Next thing you know, they start talking bad about their wife. They start talking bad about their wife, and they want me to talk bad about my wife too. And I was like, I can't do that. Because, let me tell you something. I know I ain't perfect. Way far from it. And I don't want to say this, but I got to tell you this. My wife looks perfect, and she's beautiful. I love her. She ain't perfect. And if they start wedging one little thing she does against me, and then I say it again, it's going to get worse. So you have to get away from stuff like that. That's right. And then people will ask you to move. They will ask you to help them move. They'll ask you to help them go do stuff. Yep. And you've got to learn to say no to the stuff that you don't have to do. And then you've got to look at all the things you get to do. You could work with this person, You could go do a hot spot. You could go get a part-time job. You've got to look at your return of money on your due. Right? You could do administrative work. That's something that you get paid for to do your paperwork. But if you could hire somebody to do your secretary work,
like Pam Moore has done, she can do what she gets paid this much for. Why should she spend, you only have this much time in a day. You got 24 hours. If she takes that much time doing $10 an hour work, she don't have it, and then she takes family time, and then she takes fun time, she's only got this much to make money. So if she could change it and make huge returns on time here, it drives your income up. So what you do is you're stopping the cheap stuff, the stuff that don't help you so much. Oh my God, the stuff that goes backwards. People laugh at me about the Facebook thing. I don't post on Facebook. I don't get on it. You know why? Because I get sucked into these people's pictures. And I get to looking at people's kids that I don't care nothing about. I don't know who they are. But I keep looking at kids and say, what's wrong with that young'un? And I'm thinking, I ain't got time to think about what happened to him. And they make up relationships they don't have. I realized it just woke up one day and I said, not only is this a zero return on my money, it's a negative. Because I have to work hard to get out of the mindset I got in looking at that junk. Oh, God, news. Lord, have mercy. Is that just, oh my, who needs to know over there in the worst neighborhood, the worst street there is, somebody robbed somebody? Let me just tell you, in the worst neighborhood in your city, somebody robbed somebody. Now you don't have to watch it every day. It happened. It's going to happen tomorrow. Somebody hit somebody, shot somebody, cut somebody, stole their money, got mad, got in a fight, done cursed them, done said something obscene, done said something to them racial, done said something to, oh my God, it happened. Now let's go make some money.
That's right. That's right.
Can we just get that out of the way?
Yes, sir.
People say, I watch it for the weather. Get you an app on your phone that says weather. Hit that thing and see the weather. Now you don't have to look through 30 minutes of beatings and torture and misery and heartache to see that it's going to be sunny today. You got to stop the junk and move up to the do. Y'all with me on this stuff? I want you to walk through this with me. It's called song, okay? I want you to figure out what song they're singing. Number one, figure out what their situation is. What is their situation? Where are they? What kind of work you do? And you say, well, what if they just say, what do you got right off the bat? Learn questions like this. Well, what we've got is an opportunity. Listen to me. I'm responding, but I'm only responding to what I want to say. What we've got is an opportunity, but before I start rambling with you, Robin, do you mind if I find out where you are? Now, the psychology of people is everybody wants somebody to understand their situation. They want people to see them as a person. So I go right into that. I go, could I try to understand where you're coming from first? What's your situation? Most people are like my puppy dogs. When you got to hold up a treat to them, that's what I want to do, is tell you my situation. And people don't understand, and you're willing to listen. That's right, I am. Now, a lot of people, they'll ask, they just go broad as everything. They go like, all right, you married? Where'd you go to school? And you're not listening. I'm listening. I'm looking for a way to drive deeper. Okay? And I'm finding out, what I really want to know is what path takes me down, all the way down to the heart of the matter. Okay? I'm looking like a point guard that's bouncing the ball, and he's looking around, and he's looking for a place to drive in and score. I'm looking for the heart. And if I ever hear a quiver about the children, about their house, about their job, about their boss, about their spouse, I'm listening to figure out what's the surrounding situation that's going on with these people. All right? Okay. When I was talking to Terry, I would say, Terry, I understand you lost your job. Your situation, did you have a lot of money saved up before you moved to Atlanta? Or were you in bad broke situation before you moved? Are you in a panic? Are you in a hurry? See, if he said, well, actually, I'm a trust fund baby and I've got money coming in, I'm just looking for something to do, I'm going to handle that differently. If he says, well, no, it's just me and my wife and we're not under any panic situation, but what he said is, I've got 3 children, young'uns, my wife is stay-at-home mom, I got another on the way, Andy, I got to move quick. I handle that differently. So their situation guides what I'm going to do next. If they're going to take forever to do something, I'm just more relaxed. But if it's an urgent situation, I get more urgent. So their situation guides me on where to go next. Now, organization. What's the organization situation? Who's in charge? Is your wife happy to be in Atlanta? Would you rather move back up here at High Point? Does she find you the job? Who's in charge of the situation? If I'm talking to a mother with 2 kids, I'm like, now who takes care of the kids? How do you do that when you work your job? If the wife, I'm talking to the wife and her husband has another job, then I'm still wondering, does he take care of the kids? Who's in charge? Who's the decision maker? Is his mother around? Does she help? Now, if people say, like, keep this in mind, what if a guy says, well, I got an ankle bracelet and I can't go so far? That's because the police are in charge. You understand what I'm saying? That's a totally different situation. Single guy that lives at home with mama. Single guy that's in an apartment with 2 other guys. That's sharing the three bedroom apartment. He's sharing it in all 3 of them, and I'm picturing dirty clothes. I'm picturing crumbs. I'm picturing, just not cleaned up, right? I mean, I'm trying to figure out what's the organization situation. How is it? Who's going to make the decisions when I start asking questions? Where's the money come from? Does mom supply them with your money? Does the husband control all the money? Or the situations you have no money, where are you going to get money from? Where's this? I'm thinking. I'm trying to figure out what song they're singing. I'm still, by the way, all this I'm talking about now, I'm still up in here. Okay? I'm drifting down, but I'm still up in here and finding out the situation. Now, norms. What are their norms? What are their values? See, if I can figure out what a person's values are do they believe in hard work? Do they believe in optimism? Like, here's some people, they value benefits. A person who says, I've got to find a job with benefits. Well, now I know what his values are. I've got to have a job that works 8 to 5. Can't be commission. That's his values. That's his norms. He's used to a paycheck at the end of the week. That's his norms. So I go like, now were you on commission, Cynthia, when you're in real estate? Did you have a salary? How was that set up? I'm trying to understand her by what's normal for her. Now, keep in mind, if somebody says, well, I've always been on salary, but I've always wondered what it's like on commission, I take that chance to say, here's the way it works. In the beginning, you make nothing and you make a lot. You make nothing, you make a lot. And it's very annoying. But eventually, you're making $100,000 to $150,000. And you're really ticked because sometimes your income drops all the way to $100,000. You're ticked. And then it goes to $150,000. And then the next month, you're making $200,000 and you might only make $150,000 that month. And they go, whoa, did you say a month? I said, yeah, but it is annoying because it's commission only. You see how I twisted them? Because they said, I've been thinking about on commission, I think I've been on salary all my life, but okay, so you want to start smaller with them. You could say, understand you've been on salary all your life, let's say you're a fireman. What's the top fireman? Don't ask them this question. How much do you make? That's very wrong. But you can say, so you're a fireman in the Baltimore area. Well, if I was a fireman in the Baltimore area, what's a top-notch guy who's been there 10 years, what can I expect to be making per month? And he says, let me think, 10 years, real good fireman, I'd say you're probably going to make $5,000 a month. I go, okay. So how much would I take home? So I'd take home about $3,800 a month. Okay, good. So now I know, but I don't know what he makes. I didn't ask him that. I asked him what a fireman who's been there 10 years in that area, what would he expect to make? Not what do you make. I don't want to know what you make. I want to know what a fireman happens to be. He is one. You understand what I'm saying? And I'm pretty smart. I can put two and two together, but I didn't ask him how much he makes. I asked him, is this making sense? What does a guy in your area make if he'd been there 10 years and he was top notch? And if I were the one giving you the estimate, I would estimate high to make myself look better, so that's what I always think they're doing, but I allow them to do that. So asking great questions that are getting down to what is their values, what's their norms, what do they expect. Okay, so now, let's say I know this guy is typically bringing home $3,000 to $5,000 a month. I tell him, I said, well, it's really bad when you make none in a month, but it's fun when you make 10. So what you have to be really good when you're on commission is understanding averages. Now, if one month you make 5, and the next month you make 12, and the next month you make 4, then you make 14, so your average is way better. So what you do is, and I tell them, I try to explain this to them, I said, in the beginning your salary looks like this, and maybe it goes up 3%, then it goes up 3%, so that's the way it goes. With commissions, it might go way down here, then way up here, way up here, way up here, and what you got to look for is your average. What's fun is with commissions, you can eventually do this, and now your average is way above what your salary would have possibly ever been. Now, does it still annoying when it goes up and down? Yes, it's very annoying, but who cares if you can do the math? And then people say, well, what about benefits? Because down here, my benefits were free. Well, up here, your benefits cost a little bit of your money. Each month they cost, but no, who cares? Because you're making so much better, and you can buy primo benefits. And a person says, well, I'm against that. I hate that. Well, their norms do not fit our situation. Okay? So I'm going to tell them, get a steady job. I would tell that person, get a steady job, and then try to work some commission stuff above that. See, now he's got the best of both worlds. He's got a steady money, but he's got an opportunity to make some commissions. That's based on his norms and what he expects. So I'm figuring out what song he's singing before I start selling. Before I start solving, I want to know what song we're playing. Okay? G, goals. What does he want in life? What would be his ultimate desire? What is his short-term situation? With Terry, I've been like, short-term, Terry, what are you thinking? Now, what y'all don't know, I know a lot more about Terry already, because I know that where he is the CEO of a credit union, he also had a little business on the side where he was selling travel. And he'd also been hiring people in the travel deal, so his goal was to get out of that salary with the credit union already. So the short term, he had to plug that hole of that little salary he was making, or big salary, depending on how you look at it. But long term, my man was thinking, I got to get out of there. So the first time I met him, and keep in mind, it goes like this for me. The way I see it, the way I view it, the way I view the world, it goes James Hill. I'm on track, James? Right? And then it goes Paul Menachino. Is that right? And then from Paul, it goes to Balak, and then Balak goes to who? Jasmine Lightborn. And then Jasmine hired Laz. This ain't going where I want it to go. I'm talking about Terry Edwards the whole time. He ain't going to come up in this description. So for me, it goes, I hired Andy Riddle. Andy Riddle hired Mark Marcellus. Mark Marcellus hired Jason and Olga. And Jason and Olga hired Terry Edwards. So there's Terry Edwards. You with me? So you wait a minute. Andy, you're up here and you're thinking you're working down in this leg? I don't know where I'm working. I'm just trying to find good people to take over the world with, brother. So look, you see this. I hired James, that's one leg, and then another leg that I hired was Andy Riddle. So I'm down in here. By the way, Balak and all that crowd and all them are over here. I see them out in the crowd. This organization are here, but I'm over here talking to Terry Edwards. So when I'm talking to Terry, I'm trying to get this business bigger and deeper down in here under Andy Riddle and Mark Marcellus and Olga. You with me? So when I talked to him, I did the same thing that I did if I was hiring somebody brand new direct to me. I do the same thing. Sometimes we call it a GS3. We say you got a what do we say about them? You got a goal set, you got to go serve, and you got to get them started. So this is what I'm doing with Terry Edwards. Is this making sense? Yeah. All right. So what I'm doing is, so when a brand new person I'm talking to, it's a lot the same way. I'm trying to figure out all these items. I'm trying to figure out what's their situation, what's the organization, what's the norms, what's the goals that they want. What does he desire? What's his ultimate goal? So then, what do you always do? You always, when you have a person, you begin with the end in mind. This is what he wants. So I start telling him, this is his short term. He had to have a plug, so we had to get him licensed fast. Fast. How long did it take him to get his license, Jason? 2 days. 2 days, my man went through licensing. How did he do that? Remember, we teach people how to get through licensing. You go to the end of the chapter, you take that test. I talk to people every day that nobody has told them that, and they're just boring their way 2 days, 3 days, 4 days, and they're on chapter 1. I was like, didn't you tell them to go to the end of the chapter? That's the way we do it. We do exciting. We make the most boring industry in the world, insurance, the most exciting and craziest place in the world to work. That we do. You can't do that reading every page. Take the test. Y'all would take the test. Figure out what you need. Go back, then take the test again. Go back. Do it like that. But we got it. This is all part of the deal, guys. So this is how you do the licensing fast. We're going to start him networking. Ultimately, we want him to become EVP. We want him to be a board member, right? Because that's what he desires. That's what his goal is. Now, a lot of people, they take a brand new person and they start acting like they want to be EVP day one. And I go, brah, no, just ease them into it. This guy he's got a job. He don't want to be rich. He say, well, he does. He just don't know it. I know. Let's just get him started a little bit at a time. It depends on where they are, how fast we move them into this program. All right, so after you've done, you figure out what song they're singing. You want to figure out what key they're playing with. You with me? We're trying to get it down, right? We start out up here, and we want to figure out what's the key. We all know the key is their heart, right? We know it's the key is their heart. Where's their passion? Oh, I got to go through my thing here. All right, number one, what is their knowledge? Do they understand the problem? When I say it to Terry, when I said to Cynthia, is real estate a problem or is it you? Is New York a problem? Do you have to have license in other states? What's the situation? I'm situation, but my situation is she's 16 years in real estate. What's her knowledge of the problem? What's her understanding? Terry, you think you might get that job back tomorrow? Or Diana, is you getting ready to get promoted at Cracker Barrel? Could you ask them for less hours? And she's like, no, you cannot ask for less. So I listened to her statements, and she says, here's the situation with Cracker Barrel. I've been there 12, how long have you been there at Cracker Barrel? 4 years. I've been there 4 years. Here's my boss. Here's the hours. Here's the upward mobility. Here's the salary track. So I understand her knowledge. See, I've went right down to what the situation is. So if it's a single mom, I'm like, all right, what's the situation? Do you have help? Is the government helping you? How much? If you made money, is it going to get cut off? Is somebody else, is parents supporting you? Will they support you in this endeavor? What's their knowledge of the situation? I'm trying to figure out. That's why it ends up getting personal so many times with me. Because it's intentionally getting personal. I am trying to have absolute clarity so I know what to do next. Now, you've got to know what questions to ask. You can't ask people. I don't ask. I'm like, I want to say, I joke about how much I've watched Law and Order and the way these attorneys ask questions. But I'm not going to say, are you married? But if you said, I've got 2 kids, you think maybe they've been married, but I'm not making a decision. I go, so who helps with the children? Who helps? Well, their daddy helps. That's good. Is he there a lot, or does he work? Does he travel? No, well, we've been divorced, and he lives here, and he comes, so I go, oh. So I'm asking questions that lead to the answer, that lead to the details. I'm seeking clarity nicely. I'm not prying. I heard people, they go, I'm copying Andy. I just right out ask him. I go, Andy don't right out ask him. It might seem like he does, but they don't get mad and they don't get defensive because he don't right out ask them. He's just asking, circling questions to figure out the understanding, the knowledge, the understanding of it. The knowledge of the problem. What is the problem? Is it time or is it money? Is it relationship with your manager? Is it the people you work with? Is it the ethics of the company? What's their knowledge of the situation? They live in a city they don't want to live in. They would rather move over here, but they don't know of a job over here. What's their knowledge? What's the key? Emotion. What is their emotion of the deal? What's the implications? What's the consequences? What's the pain? How do they feel? Is this something that makes you tremble? Is this something like you've got a good job and you're just checking things out? See, the way they respond is how I'm going to deliver my answer. And by the way, the better you can get at this, Dane, the more likely you're going to get production out of people the next week. The more you know the key to their life, the key to their heart, the key to their emotion, the key to their feelings, the more, Mark, Marcellus, we can be able to take them to new heights. That's right. It's understanding people. This is people skills. This is connection. That's the whole thing. All right. Emotion, implications, consequences, feelings. What are their feelings? Do they hate? Do they love? Do they miss something? Do they miss living down south? Do they miss living up north? Do they love what they're doing but they aren't getting paid? Is there a way we could give them the same kind of job with more money? Is there a way that we can give them more freedom, more time with their family? Is there a way that we can have a more fun place to work? What is the situation? Now listen, here's the thing. I don't have a solution to everybody. Some people tell me it's so restrictive. They tell me, I talk to them and they go like, here's the solution I'm looking for, and it's in this little bitty box. And I go, I'll be honest, I talked to a guy yesterday, Justin Balick was sitting there, and the guy said, I said, tell me your situation. He told me his situation. We covered all of this right here. And he said, do you think you have a fit for me? And my word was, no, sir, I don't think we do. But it's really been enjoyed talking to you. And you seem like a nice person. And who knows, maybe our paths will cross. He said, thank you for being clear. You have a good day, Mr. Albright. And Jason Matthews was sitting right there. And we hung up and we continued on our business. What he had, the situation made absolutely no sense because what he wanted was this little bitty box and everything had to fit in there. A lot of people I talk, they're like this. Anything you got, I'll take. Right? That's what I'm talking about right there. And so when they do that, I'm trying to say, well, how would you like this right here? And it ends up coming down to the heart. You with me? How would you like that right there? Come down in here where there's freedom, travel, helping people, having fun, making money, making a difference. But I'm not selling them on that until I know where they are. Y'all tracking with me on this? Okay, so there are no's. All right, what do they yearn for? What do they yearn for? What is their true desire in life? Now see, here's the funny thing. I know why they're on earth. I don't know if they know. So my question is their heart really lined up like it should be? I'm just asking, what is your ultimate? And some people, their ultimate has nothing to do with helping people, nothing to do with freedom. And I don't know, I can say, well, I'll tell you what you could do. you could do some sales on the side for us. Now, I guarantee you this: if I get a great person, if this is AA, okay, and when I hire a new person, if this person is awesome, I'm wondering who they know, mother, child, cousin, nephew. I'm thinking, who do they know? And I'm listening, because they already said, my children are grown and gone. If they say my children are grown and gone, well, Albright is up here thinking they done grown and gone. So I'm thinking they old enough to eat cornbread without choking. You know what I mean? They grown and gone. I'm thinking, one, this person is older than 22 years old, and I'm thinking that one's older than 18. So if I like the people a lot, I'm thinking, how am I going to go down in here and get them 2 deep? Maybe 3 wide, but I'm definitely trying to figure out somebody underneath them. Let me tell you this. Let's say I don't like them. I'm trying to figure out how I can get them 2 wide. I'm thinking, I talk to people and they go, I got this person fired up. They out of their mind, excited. Would you talk to them? And I go, have you got anybody underneath them? No, they said they're going to wait. They ain't talking to nobody yet. They don't want to talk to nobody. They don't understand it. And so I start out like this. I start out and I go, brrr, brrr. And the next thing, I find out they got older children. And I say, have you said anything to your children? And here's what they say. I've been thinking about that. 2 of them, I don't think so. But this one, she likes sales. She liked to make a $1 bill. And I just want to look back at the person that hired them, and I'm thinking, how did you not go there? Does this make sense? Okay, so immediately I'm dropping down, and I start asking questions. What is this child like? What is her thoughts? What's her habits? What's her values? What's the norm for her? What's her values? What is her ultimate goal? What is her situation? What's the problem here? And they will start telling me, now I am ahead of the game here, so that I can start putting them in. You say, why would you want to hire 2 people if this person ain't going to do it? Let me redraw it for you and see if it connects. This is you, and now you have 2 people. See how that works? What happened to them? I don't know. You see how this, you're tracking on this? Song. Figure out what song they're singing, then find the key to their heart. This is all I'm doing. And then I say, you know what? This makes sense. Why don't we book a meeting? Why don't we do something? Why don't we do? Why don't we act? See, everything I'm doing is all designed on, when you talk to somebody, your goal is to get them to act, get them to do. Now, is meeting with you again, if you're talking to them at noon and they agree to meet with you again at 3, is that a do? Yes. Could I ask them to do something in between here and then meet with you at 3? That's what I call a to-do. Okay? I got them to look at a short 3-minute video, the profile of the company. I got them to watch the entrepreneur venture of NC State, where I'm giving the money to NC State, and the chancellor of NC State, largest university in North Carolina, is telling me how much he loves us and appreciates us. Credibility goes through the roof. I send them the little cartoon video that says you're working a job, and then you start printing money, and then you can network out and hire other people when you get ready. I pop them to them, so I give them something to do until we meet at 3. What are the things I like for people to do? See, now how I'm getting into all the other things I like people to do, the LLC, the license, the list, and the convention. So getting people to do, and people are scared, and the faster you can get them, say, well, I tell you what, 3, why don't we get back together, I'll pop you a couple of videos, and then we will get you started in the class. What do you think about is there any problem that prevents that? Well, see, here's the thing. If I've done a good job investigating, I know they got money, or I know they're really, 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 really tight on money, so I say, we really need, the first step is to get you contracted. Let me ask you this. Do you have any thoughts on where we could come up with the $49 to get you contracted? Could you ask your mother? Could you ask your son? Is there any way you could come up with that? And if they say no, so well then at 3 o'clock, let's put you fast track. Let's get you in the system. Since we punt, right? We can't contract them. We can't get them in class, but we can get them in the system. And then I say, what we can do is we can start your network until you come up with that money. So there is one thing we can do. And if they say, I'd rather wait, I go like, okay, bye. And I'm on to the next person. Does that make sense? But the person that says, yeah, the person says, why don't I just contract now? I go like, hold on a second, let me check my schedule. Now, it depends on what I have lined up, because I love to get away from a person and get back. I really would like to bam-fam more than I'd like to stay on the phone with them 3 hours. I want to get a break. I want to come video. On the other hand, if Christiana's standing there or Andy Lee, I might say, Andy, contract this person, walk them through it, get them started. All right? So the deal is we're trying to get them licensed, contracted, tell them about the other convention. Now, by the way, if a person is like real unsure and it's just slowly one step at a time, I don't start saying, and you got to go to the open meeting every Tuesday night, and you got to be there at 7:15, and you got to stay until 10, and you really got to stay for night out. If you really don't plug into the whole system, this thing won't work. No, easy, child. Back down a little bit. People say, well, if the meeting's next Thursday, can I just tell them to go to the meeting next Thursday? Yeah, but don't it make sense to do something 2 hours from now, and then do something tonight at 9 o'clock, and then at 10 o'clock another something, and then at 8 in the morning? You say, Andy, well, I won't be able to talk to new people. Hello? Did you remember what we're trying to do here? We're trying to get more people selling more insurance. I just had a situation where my wife wanted to do something, and I said, baby, and I was sitting there talking to somebody else, and I was talking to her, and I was like, baby, you don't have to go to that. And she said, I don't do it. I go, no. And we did something together because we have a limited amount of time, and it was somebody that has crossed paths, and she had an opportunity to go. See, listen to this. Every opportunity to go do something like that is not always the right thing to do. It's a choice. You get choices. And another thing, people don't know they get to decide this stuff. Like, did you know that you get to decide? You get to pick. How about this? Every decision is a decision. Every no decision is a decision. Everything you do is something. So in other words, if I can't decide whether to pick up my phone or not when you call, I am making a decision. I'm undecided so much, I've decided not to pick up the phone. I've made a decision by being undecided. Make sure that if you're going to undecide to do something, it's undecide whether to not do the wrong thing, and that way you'll be basically, a fallback will be the right thing. Does that make sense? Like, for example, I can't decide to stay home and make my son happy, my wife happy, my husband happy, so I can't decide, so I go ahead and go to training. I went to training because I couldn't decide whether to stay with them or not. Does that make sense? I wasn't really committed to going to training. I was undecided about going to training, but I went to the training undecided about whether I should stay at home. Do you understand what I'm saying? People say, you're twisted up. I said, bro, you have no idea what goes on in here. I have no idea. I'm not kidding you. So you understand what I'm saying? It's like, I got to get up and do stuff. That's the only way. People ask me, why do you think you've got houses and cars and friends and travel and gifts and stuff? I get up and do. It's because of the things inside of this circle. Now, to be clear, here's what's happened. Because of what I do and because of what you do, people react to you differently. Not everybody, but people react differently. Because when they see you doing stuff, then that gives them a pull. People react to this. Courage. People follow courage. When people make courageous decisions to go no matter what, to stay up, to get up in the morning, to act, to, listen to this, is making phone calls courageous. Yes, because you call people up and they say, don't ever call me again. You say, well, I appreciate you saying that. I was just wondering what time you get off work. You stupid son of a gun, don't you understand? Yes, I understand. I'm trying my best to understand what time y'all get off work because I need to take this material. And blah, blah, blah. And you do just like the warrior who stands there when bullets are coming at you. Hey, pull the tanks up. Somebody, we're going to need a radio up here. Man's down right here, got shot in the head. Somebody come up here, medic. That's courageous. You're doing the same thing on the phone when people are attacking you, and you're just like that army guy. You're just standing there just talking on the phone. The bullet's coming at you. You don't even see it. Some people call those people dumb. I call them dumb enough to make it big. Yep. Yep. You want to be twisted enough to make it big. You just got to take it and move on. That's courageous. I thank God for the military. Who's the military people in here? We got Navy, Army, Marines. Give them a hand. That's the people. That's courageous right there. See, because that's real bullets coming at you. That's real people trying to kill you. Well, we got people talking. People trying to influence us negatively. Family trying to influence negative. Neighbors trying to influence negative. Relatives. Sometimes close relatives. That's war. You make the decisions. That's where courage comes about. Just think about what you got to do and try to get their stuff out of your head. A lot of people don't know they can control this. You can control it. I said decided or undecided. How about committed or not committed? Did you know you're either committed to being uncommitted or you committed to being committed? It's one of the two. I'm not committed to being uncommitted. Are you committed? No. Well, you're committed to it, ain't you? So you can't be. You're committing to something no matter what. I just choose to try to pick which direction I'm going. And I know this, whenever I decide ahead of time, like if I said right now, like tonight, I'm going to get up, tonight I'm going to stay up and read 2 pages or some in my book tonight. I'm reading this great book by this preacher named Hybels, okay? And I'm going to read a couple pages. I'm saying, I'm going to read a couple pages. I bet you I will. Now I know this. I got to get up. I know it's like 2 o'clock in the morning or 3 o'clock in the morning to go catch an airplane. There's a price to pay for everything you do, okay? I got to go fishing in Costa Rica this week. All right, isn't that right, James? We got to get up early, baby. But now what I'm deciding to do is I'm deciding to do it now. I bet you I do it. Versus if I say, I will see how I feel when the time comes. That's called being committed to being uncommitted. And it'll work depending on what you're trying to accomplish. It'll keep you dumb. It'll keep you broke. It'll keep the same friends. It'll keep you in the same tax bracket. It might even lower your tax bracket. You say, a lower tax bracket, that's good. Not in America. In America, the higher tax bracket means you're making more money. But it's what are you trying to accomplish? You need to decide. Let me show you this. This is one thing that'll help you. I've showed you oftentimes how to make excuses when somebody's trying to get you off track and you say something like, I'm sorry I can't do it now, maybe I'll do it later, I've got a previous commitment. That's one way. Let me give you something. That's something you need to learn. Learn how to put off or delay dumb actions. Put off a way to associate with dumb people that have poor attitudes and they have pathetical relationships. Put it off. Figure out ways to put it off. The way you do it is you go like, how about next week? I'm tied up this week. We'll put it off. You say, how long to put it off? Forever, okay? Or at least put it off later where you don't have to do it now. Let me give you something else. I'm not sure if people know this right here. Here it's the strangest thing. Okay, all right, here's what we want. Woman wants man to stay home and have money, okay? So here's what she says. I want him to stay home and have money. He won't do that. So let's get a divorce, okay? I'm like, you know what? Could we do something in between those two extremes? Does that make sense? Like people say like, Uncle died. Uncle died, should go to the funeral. Okay, drive, get there an hour early, stay an hour late, take gifts, cry with them, mourn with them. Okay, some people say that's the right thing to do. Some people say, don't go, do not go, and don't think about them, and don't care about my dead uncle. Can we do somewhere in between? Does that make sense? Can we get somewhere in here so that what you do, you control, and they don't control? Yeah, you see what I'm saying? Can we meet somewhere in the middle? Like, for example, could we send a gift and pray for them? Could we do that? Could we go by there and say hello and leave? Is that possible? Could we call? Does this make sense? Like, people come up with it's like extremes. Like, I ask people, I go, would you go to the meeting? Would you hire somebody in Houston? Go to Houston and hire somebody? Would you go up to Chicago and hire somebody and do a meeting every week and build a business and every week fly up there and just give them a bunch of leads and take a bunch of material up there and rent an office? And they go, no, I'm not going up there. And what they mean is, I'm not going to hire anybody up there. I'm not going to talk to anybody up there. I'm not going to take a chance that I would be tempted to move up there. I'm like, could we do something in between there? Could we just run some ads, hire somebody, and then go one time? You see what I'm saying? Can you control yourself, what you do? Does it have to be extreme? Can we see the in-between stuff? Can you see the choices? You've got choices. You've got options. Think it through. Think, here's the worst case scenario. I don't go. I don't think about them. As a matter of fact, I'm going to get something in my will that just says they don't live. They're not even related to us anymore. Might even change our last name. And then we go to the funeral and we waste a week, or we invest a week in this person's death. Can we look at some options in between? Did y'all know you could do that? Whenever you make a decision, can you start thinking about that? It's tough. What I have is some buddies. I go, hey, there's an option. And they say to me, hey, there's something in between. Okay, this is big stuff right here. Did this help anybody at all? Okay, all right. What you control is more than you think. And what you control really affects the rest of your life more than a lot of people think.
You need to understand this. You're going to have mistakes and disasters. And most people, they're going like, no kidding. Like, was you watching me last night? Okay, what I mean is, you're not going to do 100% right. You're going to say the wrong thing to the wrong person. You're going to drink too much. You're going to say something off the cuff to your wife. You're going to see a commercial for Law and Order, and you're going to click on it, and you're going to get so fired up, you're going to watch 3 more shows. Not that I'm speaking from personal experience for last night. But what I'm telling you is, you got to get over stuff. So last week, you didn't do 100%. How do I get you to forgive yourself? You ain't got time to dwell on that crap you did yesterday. It's a new day. You got to, if I was not good at letting myself off the hook, I would be a mess. By the way, I'm still a mess. I can't imagine how big of a mess I would be, Brandon, if I didn't let myself off quicker. You've got to let yourself off quick so we can go do what's next. Right. Like this morning, last night I was thinking, I am a moron. But I'm fired up because in the morning, I'm going to do better. I made a commitment. I'm going to tell Jane. I'm telling my son. I talked to Spencer. I talked to Haley last night. I'm telling y'all, I'm going to do better today. And I am going to do something productive today. And I've done good so far. All right. I've had a good day. Well, and here's what I'm predicting. A whole good day. But I'm going to tell you this, and this is not talking myself into it. I'm just telling you, I am confident that I'm going to mess up again. Y'all, and I love y'all, but y'all going to do it too. You got to quit beating yourself up, though. You hear me? Yeah. You can't do that. You can't get anywhere beating yourself up on yesterday.
That mess is gone. I ain't got time for that. You ain't got time for that. I ain't got time for that. Get good at saying this to yourself. That was stupid. I'm going to do better next time. Tomorrow night, I'm drinking water. Tomorrow night, when I'm supposed to shut up, I'm going to shut up. Tomorrow night, when somebody tries to get my goat, I'm going to zip it. And I'm going to go, mm-hmm. And I'm going to think about something else. They're not going to get me with the emotional, I'm not going to respond. I'm going to do like this. Mm-hmm. That's right. I know. I'm going to say this to them. I'm going to say, I know that's right. And I'm going to kind of mumble it so they ain't sure what I said. And they say, what'd you say? I said, I know that's right. That's what I said. Does that make sense? And then I'm going to start doing what I'm supposed to be doing. Now, every time that split second comes into my mind now about yesterday or that thing I did last month that was stupid, that bad move I made, I go to myself, you ain't perfect, fool. Don't pretend like you Jesus. Don't act like you some God or something. You're human anyhow. Just expect it. It's probably going to happen again. Now, what do you need to do right now? You hear what I'm saying? What do you need to do right now? What do you need to do right now? Because that's yesterday. And then when it pops up again, I say the same thing. I say, how arrogant are you to think you're perfect? What the hell? Where'd that come from? That's beyond arrogant to think you're perfect. You know you're going to make up. Now let's go. Now what do you need to do next? To change your life. I was talking to Tim Goat. He landed in Minnesota, and he's like, Andy, that's the one thing. He said there's two things. That's the one thing that you're freaky about. Focus. He calls it focus. I get right back on the task. I'm working on this lady. I'm going to get her in her name's Bonnie St. John. She's a one-legged lady that was is a downhill skier, skiing on one leg, and she talks about getting up. You can imagine if you're a downhill skier in one leg, you're going to do some getting up in your life. You know what I mean? You say, well, it just strikes me as it's going to happen. You're going to have to get up. Well, you say, well, that's natural that she's going to have to get up a lot. You're human. You're going to have these times more often than you prefer. Quit thinking you're somebody that you aren't. You're not that guy. You're not that perfection. Stop it, or I'll bury you alive in a box. Does that make sense? Hey, stop it, or you'll bury yourself alive in a box. That is true. Yeah, you're messing yourself up. We just can't. You got verbally say, I ain't perfect. What I got to do now? And then you get out your white sheeting, whatever, you take notes, and you go, all right, that's what I got to do now. You say, and I'm going to eventually forget about it. No, you won't. You're always going to remember your mistakes. But you got to quit. You just can't dwell on them. You got to focus on what's next and what's most important. What's got to get done today? What would change my business? What would change my relationship with my wife? What would change my relationship with my kids? What one thing could I do today that propels it forward as opposed to my stupid... see, I keep bringing it back up. I can't help it. Because I want to talk about the stupidness. It just don't do any good. I got to think about what I got to do. I got to focus on this has got to happen. I got to do this note. I got to do this plan. I got to get this lesson. I got to call Spencer. I got to text Jane. I got to text her I love her. I got to do. It's what I got to do. And try to stay on that. And then don't be shocked when it don't work out and you start messing up again. Okay?